Hello and welcome back to my shop. Those of you who follow me know that I have never done a product review before. I don't really at this point plan to make it a regular part of my channel, but I got a chance to use a product this weekend, and overall I really like the product. Therefore I want to kind of do a review on it, tell you what the pros and cons from my perspective were, because it's a tool that possibly you might be able to use in the future. And truthfully, there were no videos. There were videos that the company put out showing how to use it, but I didn't know if it was a good idea or not. So I'd like to take a few minutes, show you the tool, talk about the tool, and just let you know what I thought. Now, bear in mind, the company did not send me this tool. I have no affiliation with the company. I get nothing for doing this review. I found this tool while I was purchasing stain at my local Sherwin-Williams store. It happened to be sitting on an end cap of a rack, and while I was standing there waiting for my stain to get mixed, I saw the tool and thought, well, that's kind of a neat idea. I might give that a shot. And here's the tool. It cost me a little over 15 bucks, just under 16. It is the Woodmate 9-inch stain sponge by Mr. Longarm. Last year, I built a deck, and I let it sit over the winter and the first part of the summer here to make sure the wood was good and dry. Here's a quick shot of my deck after I finished staining it. I don't want to walk on it because it recommends waiting 24 hours before you walk on it, but you can kind of get an idea what it looks like. It came time to stain the deck, and I was in at Sherwin-Williams the other day getting some stain, and while I was waiting for the stain to be pigmented, I saw this product sitting on a stand right by the front counter. Now, what this is, it's an absorbent stain pad that's designed to absorb stain and then allow you to lay the stain down evenly on a surface. I got a chance to use the product while staining my deck, and I have some likes and dislikes. I'd like to share them with you guys today. So let's talk a little bit about the tool. First thing you notice when you see the tool is it does have a threaded insert. Now, Mr. Longarm has a pole that you can buy, of course, to thread into here. That's great. I didn't buy the pole, and the reason why is I'm always watching my money. I took my shop broom, I unscrewed the pole from that, screwed it into the end of this tool, and it worked perfectly. Not only can you use this on a pole, but I used it quite a bit around the sides of the deck just by holding the handle. And I have to say, I preferred using it without the handle. And the main reason why has to do with the swivel head. And I'm going to talk about that next. This product has a 180-degree swivel head. Okay? It's very nice because you can dip it in your stain, lay it on your deck, and pull it across the deck. Now the nice thing is, as you pull it, you know as it gets closer to you, your handle is going to become more and more vertical. This is where I didn't care a lot for the swivel head, simply because when I picked it up to go forward again and I laid it down, it hit the deck at an angle, which made a little bit of a mess that I had to clean up. So I had to make sure each time as I pulled it back and got vertical, I dropped the handle before I picked it up and took it forward. That to me was a little distracting. Using it by hand, I didn't have near the problem because I just had a lot more control pulling it along the deck. I thought it worked much better by hand. I'm not saying it didn't work, I'm just saying I liked it better. The next thing I want to talk about is across the front, you can kind of see how the plastic ends, but the sponge sticks up above the plastic. Now, what this is for is you can turn it upside down and run it between your boards, where the gap is between your boards. Okay? My deck was brand new, so I opted to use a paintbrush the first time to make sure I got in the gaps as best as I could, and I painted the entire deck once, or stained it the first time, with a brush, and then I came back and used this for the second coat. So I did get a chance to use this feature. I didn't use it to stain the gaps. What I used it for is, as I pulled it across the top of the two boards, it's 9 inches wide, so it fits across one and a little over half of boards. Some of the stain would run down between the boards. I then went back and pulled this along the boards both ways, cleaned up that stain. It seemed to do a pretty nice job. I don't know how deep it got, which is the reason why I used the brush the first time. I wanted to get as deep as possible between the crevices, but it seemed to do a nice job cleaning up the stain between the cracks. So that's a nice little feature. Next up, you have these little edging guides on the side of it. You can kind of see how they pop up there. And what they're used for is you're supposed to be able to get right up next to your house and use this, and they keep you off of the house. Now, I was scared to death that this was going to squish out stain all over the side of my house and my bricks were going to have stain on them. But I gotta say, these surpassed my expectations. They did a real nice job. I got no stain on my bricks. Very happy about that. Let's talk a little bit about the pad. Now, this is nice because you buy the tool, and I think I paid, it was under $16 for the tool. But let's say that the pad got kind of mucked up and nasty. Look at this. Velcro. Perfect, because it makes it super nice for cleanup. Makes it great if the pad does get hard and you can't use it anymore. For about $6, a little over $6, you can buy a new pad and replace your pad. Now, I was really nervous about this because my thought was, I'm going to dip this in a pan of stain. I'm going to pick it up, and as I'm walking across the deck, it's going to drip stain everywhere. I got to say, the entire deck, my deck is 24 by 12 with some large steps out front. I had one drip the entire time I used this pad. Now, I can't be sure if that drip was the fault of the pad or if that drip was my fault. So I'm not going to hold that against it. It did an excellent job of absorbing stain and holding that stain until I was ready to apply it to the deck. Now, in regard to application, this is a 9-inch wide pad. My boards are 5 and 3/4 inches probably, so it hit one and about a half of another board. So I did 2 boards at a time, pulled them the full length of the deck. What I was able to do with this, I didn't think I would get that much stain out of it, but 2 boards, I was able to pull between 4 and 5 feet of stain with each dip of this sponge in the stain pan. So I thought that was pretty good, 4 to 5 feet of stain. It held a lot of stain, it laid it down smoothly, and did a really nice job. The other advantage to this Velcro sponge is, or the Velcro design, is my stain was water-based. I took this to my kitchen sink, got a little bit of dish liquid, some warm water, and basically cleaned it out, and it's pliable, it's not stiff. I mean, I feel like this thing is clean enough and smooth enough that I could go tomorrow and use it on another deck. No issues. So I'm really happy with how it performed. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I would probably give this product an 8. Overall, it's got a lot of great features. Like I said, the swivel head was a bit lacking. I was a little nervous about the depth of the crevices and being able to get a good coverage in there. But all in all, it's a nice product. Now, you asked me, would you recommend this product to someone else? My answer would be twofold, actually. If you had a brand new deck like I did, and you were staining it for the first time ever, I would say no, I would not recommend this. I would recommend staying with the brush, making sure you got the best possible coverage that you could get. Now, the second part of that answer is, if your deck was already stained and it's 2 years later, 3 years later, and you're going ahead and freshening your deck up, giving it another coat of stain, I don't think I would do it without this product. It was absolutely fantastic. I was able to do my entire deck, 24 by 12, in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Fantastic for maximum surface coverage. So I really liked it. Guys, I hope you found this review helpful. Once again, I have no affiliation with the product. I picked this up at Sherwin-Williams. I think they're somehow affiliated with Mr. Longarm. I haven't seen it at any of the big box stores, but I hope you enjoyed my review. That's just my opinion of the product and the performance of the product. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you got any comments, if you got any questions about the product, feel free to leave them in the comments section. I will answer them. And if you're not a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe. Thank you for joining me in my shop. My shop is always open. You're always welcome. Please come back and join me again soon, and have a great day. Happy woodworking, folks.